approaching 2 months now since I ordered my 13-inch MacBook Pro with the M1 chip in it. First, I accidentally ordered the wrong laptop with the wrong processor in it. So I had to wait for it to process, I had to wait for it to ship, I had to wait for it to get here, and then I had to send it back. Then I had to wait for it to get back, return, go through processing, and then I had to wait for the refund to process, and then I had to reorder it. And now it appears that it is going in circles in China. So I guess it will get here when it gets here. In other news, we have begun construction on Natasha's commercial kitchen. So the addition to the house has begun. Actually, it's not really the addition yet. It's gonna be Natasha's commercial kitchen. We're going to add it on right here. Just gonna do like a 10 by 16 foot room out over here. But the original plan for adding on to the house is that this whole part of the house is going to extend out into here, which, here's my studio right here. It's close enough, I might as well just attach it to the house. Which future plans for the studio is the current studio is going to be the gear vault. And I'll just add on to the studio over here. And so everything's still going to expand. It's gonna be kind of going off and branching off in all different directions. But anyway, I'm getting started. I'm ripping off the siding. Ripping off, there's gonna be a big door right there. All the siding's coming off. And I'm gonna just add the room right to the side of the house out here. That goes right into the pantry, by the way, which is very convenient for the commercial kitchen. And then there's gonna be a hallway here, which will go on to the new part of the house, which will happen eventually, not happening right now. Anyway, just thought I would start this. This is gonna be a little bit of a lengthy project, lengthy vlog. So I'm gonna start now and just record for the next couple of months or however long it takes to do this. We'll see what happens. Siding is off. One step closer. Now, to start on the subfloor. So, ironically, right where one of these foundational blocks is going, there just happens to be a tree. Used to be a tree, so I get to hack out a root wad, actually a whole stump by hand. Got it. Got stump right out of there. Good job, buddy. Some of the supplies have arrived, just the beginning. Look who decided to join the project.
An armadillo! Yeah! You found an armadillo!
Yeah, say hi.
Hi.
All right, let's take you back, put you where you were. Look, Rusty, what we got. Here is the progress so far. Got the floor joists up, the subfloor. Got the, put the drain in and everything. Of course, it's all covered in snow. You can't see what we've done, but we hand dug everything. Got the sewer line put in, some new plumbing for the commercial kitchen. But yeah, that's where we are so far. That might have been important. There is 50, what are these, acoustic foam sound absorption cubes in here that are going on the ceiling. Acoustic foam, not sponsored. In my last video, I was talking about building my home acoustic panels, and I wanted to build those because they're a little more stylish and they look cool. I don't want just these black foams all over the wall, but you're not gonna see my ceiling very often, so I'm gonna put them up there and probably on some of the other walls that you're not gonna see very much. I'm always on a journey to find better sound or get the best sound possible. I'm missing something. Nope. Found it. 3.5 millimeter extension cable for my Rode shotgun mic and little dongles to attach it to my boom pole, which is gonna be dangling it above my head. It's not very far away from me. It's maybe 3 foot away, but that still creates a lot of echo or boomingness. The closer you get, the better the audio sounds. So I'm gonna try to get it like right here, as close as possible. And that's what this 6-foot cable is for. Coffee tastes so good at 3 o'clock in the morning. Whew. I kind of want to see what happens when I open this. I have a feeling it's going to explode. Ah. Well, there's that. Well, they're all vacuum sealed. That's how they did it. Maybe I don't want to open all these at once. I might not be putting all of them up. Maybe 25 in each one, right? That's uneventful. I expected it to explode. I guess now I have to wait for them to inflate? Wait a second. Ah. Okay. Not as thick as I expected, that's why. It's okay, should still do the job, right? The idea behind the grooves here is the sound goes in and it bounces around in there instead of jumping back. I prefer the ones that have the cones in it because it goes in and it just disappears basically. This still has the potential to bounce out a little bit if you really get into sound and how all that works, how the frequencies bounce around and such. Anyway, let's put these up. All right, I have my sound absorption panels, or foam, whatever you want to call it, installed in the ceiling. And hopefully it'll help with the audio a little bit. We'll see. If anything else, it looks cool. I put them all up and walked away, took a little break and came back and like half of them had fallen down. So I had to re-stick them. I guess I didn't stick them well enough. I guess we'll see if it stays or not. But yeah, I like the look. It looks cool. I like it. It's starting to look pretty professional in here. It's looking legit. All right, so I got this little piece that goes on my mic pole. And then this Rode VideoMic Pro Plus will screw on to that. I have another piece coming in that's not here yet that will make this adjustable because right now I can only point it straight down. There we go. Of course, you're only hearing audio straight out of the camera right now because the mic's not attached, obviously. Ah. All right, there we go. How's that? We have audio coming out of there now. So that's gonna it's gonna go right over where I'm sitting here to give me better audio, hopefully, because it'll be closer, much closer. Let's set it up. All right, how does that sound? I have the mic right here, which I think is gonna be closer. Yeah, a little bit closer. I'm zoomed in a little bit too. If you zoom out, you can see it right there. So we'll just cut that out of the frame. I moved it to the other side because the light dome over here was in the way. I don't know what I was thinking, trying to put it over there. So, the Sony A1 was just announced and wow. 8K, 30 frames per second, 4K at 120 frames per second, probably 1080p at 240 frames per second, although I can't seem to confirm that anywhere. 50.1 megapixels at a burst rate of 30 frames per second, and no fully articulating screen. Let's talk about that for a minute. One of the first cameras I've ever had the privilege of playing around with was the Panasonic GH5, which had a fully articulating screen, and I loved it. That thing was so handy, and this wasn't for vlogging. I wasn't recording myself. I was just shooting a little bit of video, a little bit of pictures. It's just, if I was in like a tight spot in a room or something, and I had the camera up against the wall, I could just pull that screen out, swivel it around, and I could see everything. Or if I'm shooting way low down to the ground, I could pull it out, swivel it around. Or if I'm shooting up over my head, I could swivel it around. The thing was always out. It was the first thing I did. I turned the camera on, I'd pull that screen out. It was so handy. In fact, I almost didn't go with the Sony systems when I first started looking into getting my own cameras because I couldn't find one with a fully articulating screen. And I thought, well, maybe I could live with it. Maybe it won't be as annoying as I predict, and it was. the ridiculous, pointless, useless half swivel screen they have on there, I almost never use. The only time I ever use that thing is when I'm shooting like way low to the ground or by water or something. I flip it up because I can't look through the viewfinder. But when you're shooting up over your head, the thing only shrivels over like 10-15%. You can't see. It's useless. Absolutely useless. So when they announced the Sony A7S III and that it had a fully articulating screen, I bought it almost immediately. If for no other reason, for the fully articulating screen. In fact, I kind of promised myself if a camera came out, if it was the exact same camera as the one I already have, which is the A7 III, and the only difference was the fact that they put a fully articulating screen on it, that I would buy it, just because it would be that useful to me. So I send out little thank you vibes out into the universe every time I pull out my little swivel screen, my fully articulating swivel screen. It's just so useful. I'm using it right now. I use it. I almost never use my A7S III without pulling it out. It's awesome. So I just figured every Sony camera from here on out would have the fully articulating screen. Sony has heard the cries of their consumers, but nope. They just released arguably the best hybrid camera in existence, and then hampered it by not giving it the fully articulating screen. Why? Why, Sony? I've really thought about this. First I thought, well, Sony, maybe they know their customer base. Maybe they know their niche market, which, who's this camera even for? Everybody, it's for everybody. It's a hybrid camera. But because of the price range, it does put it in the more professional, not a whole lot of people, especially amateur photographer or videographers, are gonna be using this camera. It's gonna be the best hybrid camera. Video, picture, the best in existence for now, but man, that price range. So I thought, well, maybe they did some kind of survey and they just saw that most of the people in their little niche for this camera actually didn't want the fully articulating screen, which I just don't see that. That's kind of what I thought at first, but then I thought, well, hold on. If the more professional consumer is going to be using this camera, they'll probably have it all rigged up. They'll have it in a jig, and they'll have external monitors or a Automos recorder or something attached to it. They won't even be using the screen. So I don't know, it doesn't make sense to me. I would be curious, now that I mention it, if the fully articulating screen is a big deal to you, maybe you don't care, let me know in the comments below. For me, it's a big deal. For some, I've heard some people say, it's not even that big of a deal, I barely use it. So I'm curious, I want to see what the majority of my 1,000 subscribers have to say. Do you guys use would you prefer the swivel screen or the useless half articulating screen? Let me know in the comments below. I'm legitimately curious. So I've come to this conclusion. They don't want to kill the Sony A7S line, Sony A7S III, any of the cameras really, with the new camera because they really just released this one maybe 6 months ago, less than 6 months ago, and they don't want to kill it off because really a lot of the specs line up with the the new Sony A7S III camera, aside from the fact that I predict that the Sony A7S III is still gonna shoot a lot better in low light because of the lower megapixels. The Sony A7 has 50.1 megapixels, so I just can't see it doing very good in low light. I can't find a whole lot of information about this camera, actually. In fact, it concerns me a little bit that we have not seen a single hands-on review of this camera yet. That concerns me because why did they not do that? Almost every camera released, they always have it in the hands of the more popular vloggers and such, more popular YouTube channels. They always have it a couple of months beforehand so they can test it out and then put out their videos to help promote it. But there's none for this one. So I'm concerned. Is it hampered somehow? Is it overheating? Is it not what hyped up to be? We had the issue with the R5. It looked all great until the video started coming out, and it was like, well, make sure you have big gloves when you're handling this camera, because you don't want to burn yourself. Ow, we went there. Besides that, wow, what a beast of a camera. I didn't really know what to expect. I knew it was coming out, but I didn't know, there was very little information about this camera. So the real question is, will I be getting one? Well, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. Been putting out quite a few this year so far. We have, what is it? Today is January the 28th when I'm recording this, and I've already got over half the amount of videos that I recorded all of 2020. So I'd say we're doing pretty good. My first month, I'm gonna try to keep cranking these out. Again, let me know what videos you guys wanna see. I'm gonna start doing more how-to videos, and then mixing in the vlogs in between. So just let me know, I'm curious. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I will see you in the next video.